Sports are foundational to gaming as a medium. From Pong to NES Baseball, the infancy of the medium was littered with mostly recognizable renditions of real-life sports in an attempt to conjure a degree of familiarity to this fledgling form of entertainment. But then, in the mid-90s, the developers at Nintendo collectively had a light bulb appear above their heads, housing an idea that would change gaming forever. What if Mario and his friends played tennis? The greatest Mario sports games are a perfect blend of those two words, Mario and sports. It has to be a simulation worth its salt, giving you a reasonable adaptation of what it's truly like to participate in the pastime in question. However, just as vital is the Mario part, splicing the sport with the Mushroom Kingdom's trademark personality. In the decades following 1995's Mario's Tennis, Nintendo's sports games evolved from simple sims to wacky adventures before retreating back to a steady, if uninspiring, run of titles. The early days of Camelot Software's handheld RPGs and chaos-inducing console sims are seemingly long gone, and today many of Mario's sporting outings are greeted with more of a shrug than with anticipation. But with Mario Tennis Fever releasing this month on Nintendo Switch 2, we could be about to enter a new era. So, in celebration of a joyful future, or just a magical past, here are the top 10 Mario sports games ranked. If many Mario sports games are poisoned by lack of personality, games like Mario Hoops are the antidote. 3-on-3's unique presentation blends 3D models with excellent sprite work, a striking approach that bridges the graphical styles of the Game Boy Advance and Nintendo's then new DS handheld. Nothing represents this mix better than the character select screen, the single greatest in all of Mario history, which lays the groundwork for a charming basketball romp. Hoops could easily claim to be the best use of the DS's touchscreen. Tapping in different areas sees Mario and his friends dribble around the court, keeping the ball away from opponents and collecting coins and items. It's an intuitive motion, and that use of the stylus extends to all the basics of basketball, like shooting and passing. Regrettably, Nintendo has rarely returned to the idea of basketball in the Mushroom Kingdom, but even if it did try again, few consoles would execute the idea better than the DS. Well, as long as you're not left-handed, that is. The early days of handheld Mario sports games produced some of the most unusual oddities in Nintendo's history, and their lack of Mushroom Kingdom whimsy and focus on regular human characters is often looked back upon with a raised eyebrow. However, actually dive into the Game Boy Color's Mario Tennis and you'll find that eyebrow is put firmly back in place. However, actually dive into the Game Boy Color's Mario Tennis and you may find yourself raising the other eyebrow as well in a look of pleasant surprise. Mario Tennis features a wonderful RPG tour mode that nails the genre's basics. Being locked into 3-set matches with a far more powerful opponent is akin to boss battles in a more traditional RPG. They become challenges that you relish, always pushing you to move more quickly after a serve or time your smashes to perfection. Working through the tour sees you leveling up your original character via a very satisfying process, with the grind required to improve specific skills never feeling like a chore. The graphics and controls are inherently limited by the console, but that simplicity lends Mario Tennis a lovely rhythmic quality that encourages repeat replays even a quarter of a century later. For as slow and ponderous as the sport of golf can be, it's a miracle that it consistently dovetails so beautifully with the chaotic and colorful world of Mario. World Tour nails the balance between both sides of the Nintendo Sports coin, offering a quick and snappy way to execute precise and considered rounds of golf. With no need for complicated button schemes or deep systems, World Tour gives you a great sense of control that allows you to cut through the fiddly stuff and get to work on the eternal quest of improving your swing just like a real casual golfer. The 3DS and Wii U era was a difficult one for Mario sports titles, but World Tour stands out from a lackluster crowd thanks to its personality-packed game modes like Point Tourney, Star Coin Challenges, and Speed Golf. Castle Club also adds a story mode centered on your Mii, complete with a fun upgrade system with stat-boosting cosmetics like clothes and clubs, which is reminiscent of Camelot's handheld glory days. Much like basketball, Nintendo has barely paid any attention to baseball across the past couple decades, despite knocking it out of the park on the first try back in 2005. Mario Superstar Baseball is a wonderful marriage of addictive baseball mechanics and Mushroom Kingdom chaos played out in iconic Mario locations that have been contorted into baseball fields. Superstar Baseball boasts one of Mario Sports series' most engaging story modes thanks to its chemistry engine. The relationships between your teammates dictates the speed and accuracy of their passes, meaning you won't want to pair Mario with Wario and Bowser, but he'll combine beautifully with Luigi and Peach. It's a simple and effective way to bring depth to an already smooth experience that belongs in the Nintendo big leagues. It's amazing what a little pop of 2D animation and a few guitar riffs can do to make a subset of Mario sports games feel completely unique. Super Mario Strikers, the jumping plumber's first foray into the world of soccer, has always had a rebellious edge. Anyone who was glued to their GameCube in the mid-2000s will look back on it with a special kind of fondness, especially in the light of its disappointing revival on Switch. The nostalgia for Strikers isn't just due to its bold presentation, though. Its gameplay is perfectly calibrated. Each character controls just loosely enough to invite exactly the right amount of chaos into each and every match. If the dial was turned too far towards clean passing and shooting, Mario Strikers would be nowhere near as fun. Instead, developer Next Level Games created something aggressively competitive, wholly chaotic, and vibrantly unique. Everything a Mario sports game should be. Mario Golf Advance Tour is one of the Game Boy Advance's true gems, launched during a time when developer Camelot was proving itself as a Nintendo sports powerhouse. Compared to its predecessors, it's genuinely beautiful. The GBA was an absolute haven for bright and colorful adventures, and Advance Tour benefits greatly from the system's improved capabilities. Those vibrant visuals are just the face of a game that takes the proven and perfected RPG structure from Camelot's previous sports games and introduces even more Mario characters and locations to the mix. On the gameplay front, despite only having 2 face buttons available, Camelot designed a great-feeling, tight control scheme that ensured each shot you took felt measured and clean. That sharpness became a design philosophy that continues to stick around throughout every installment of the Mario Golf series. Advance Tour remains special to this day though, thanks to its unique pixel art rendering of otherworldly courses and the GBA's form factor making it the perfect game to pack for on-the-go strolls through the Mushroom Kingdom's premier golf courses. The moment you play your first shot in the Nintendo 64 version of Mario Tennis, something just clicks. The responsive gameplay, smooth animations, and freeing analog control creates an indescribable sense of elegance. Long rallies become like trances in which you find yourself less determined to win the point and instead simply addicted to the sensation of knocking the ball back and forth. Well, at least until you completely mistime a shot, Toad falls flat on his face, and you're suddenly a couple sets down. Released in the year 2000, Mario Tennis is another example of deep gameplay that requires just 2 face buttons and directional controls, representing Nintendo at its most simple and effective. Subsequent tennis games went on to add ideas, gimmicks, and modes that undeniably helped them surpass the offerings of the N64 title, but the bones of modern Mario Tennis are all here, a timeless gameplay loop perfected 26 years ago that endures throughout Nintendo's history. So much of what we expect from modern Mario sports games originated back on the GameCube, and the brilliant Mario Golf formula, established by Toadstool Tour, is one that Nintendo has defaulted to over the last couple decades. Its use of normal and power shots, manual or automatic swinging, and approach to camera control are all now staples of 3D Mario Golf titles for good reason. The simplicity just works.
Nice birdie! Very well done!
That simplicity gives Toadstool Tour plenty of space to carry out an overwhelming charm offensive. There are so many different ways to play, especially in multiplayer, from the conventional doubles and tournament modes to the more eccentric coin and ring attacks, giving Toadstool Tour a shot at being the best party game on this list. It's also the Mario Golf game that does the sport itself the most justice while still feeling quintessentially Mario. It's simply a great bit of goofy, golfy goodness.
Great! Complete!
Everything that made Mario Tennis on the N64 so brilliant is preserved and built upon with the GameCube's Mario Power Tennis. The console's extra horsepower is used to add wild flourishes to the courts and characters, allowing the established excellent 3D tennis formula to thrive alongside a deep collection of crazy Marioisms. Smartly, developer Camelot decided against making full use of the GameCube's iconic multi-button controller, understanding the enduring appeal of a simple control scheme, while still finding a way to add deeper mechanics such as offensive and defensive skill shots. Along with fun challenge courts that test specific tennis skills and item battles which create chaos over the net, Mario Power Tennis boasts feats of creative genius like Artist on the Court, a mode in which you use your tennis skills to paint a mural. These may not be flagship modes, but they add the kind of personality and flavor that you can't get from anyone else but Nintendo in today's gaming landscape. Much like how Power Tennis and Toadstool Tour benefited from the excellent foundations of their predecessors, Super Mario Strikers Charge takes every beloved detail from the original Strikers and advances them several steps further. Its refined design places increased emphasis on tactics. Each character now has stats and special abilities, which makes playstyles and team composition as vital to victory as actually kicking the ball. What makes Strikers Charge the very best game in this list, though, is how that tactical play is enhanced through super abilities and Mega Strikes, aka the greatest gimmicks ever introduced to a Mario sports game. Abilities like Yoshi turning into a giant egg and flattening people across the pitch, or Bowser setting players on fire, or Petey Piranha spraying mud in every direction provides a variety of incredibly silly yet highly tactical opportunities. The Mega Strikes, meanwhile, increase the level of hype around the proceedings, triggering a cutscene and allowing you to score up to 6 goals in one go. This is a great arcade soccer game, but Super Mario Strikers Charged is also completely out of its mind, and it's that wonderful blend that makes a Mario sports game truly great. And those are our picks for the very best Mario sports games of all time so far. Did we get a hole-in-one, or have we suffered a triple bagel? Let us know your thoughts and favorites in the comments, and for more from Nintendo, check out our preview of Mario Tennis Fever, and for everything else, sports, Mario, and everything in between, stick with IGN.